going for the Redskins. But finally, in 1978, it was Theismann's turn. And from that season until the night he broke his leg last November 18th against the Giants, he was a Redskin fixture at quarterback. But it was in 1981, when Joe Gibbs took over as head coach of the Redskins, that the fortunes of the club and of Joe Theismann started towards the football summit. It was the perfect marriage of an offensive-minded coach and a scrambling, opportunistic quarterback. In 1982, Joe Theismann was on top of the football world. He was the maestro of a Super Bowl champion and the media's delight, a non-stop talker with a quote for anyone willing to listen. In '83, it seemed even easier. The Redskins roared through the regular season with a 14-2 record, scoring a record number of points. And Joe Theismann was voted the most valuable player in the National Football League. After easy wins in the playoffs, the Redskins were favored to win a second consecutive Super Bowl. But the Los Angeles Raiders had other ideas. Joe Theismann did not have a good game that day in Tampa. We probably didn't realize it then, but the '83 season proved to be the apex of Theismann's career. And now would start the inevitable downward slide. 1984 was tougher for Joe both on and off the field. His marriage would crumble, and last season, it got even worse. Then came that awful moment on November 18th when the guy who had never missed a game due to injury had his luck run out. From that time to this morning, when the Redskins finally released him, Joe felt he could come back. But his leg proved not to be as tough as his heart. And like it does for all great athletes, the end had come. Now, speculation continues that Joe refused to retire.
Games, you know, when that's the year, I think that game kind of made our team. We were down in that and came back, and Joe led us, and some great plays by Joe in that game. And afterwards, I think I remember seeing him on the field. He was so happy, you know, and grabbing him. I remember that. We got a picture of that. That always sticks with me. That
will now go on to an NFL analyst job at CBS, presumably ending his 12-year NFL career. But it should be noted that for the record, he was waived. He did not retire. Perhaps this is an avenue for him to collect on his $1 million insurance policy. But it could also be Joe Theismann's way of preparing a future comeback, saying while he's down, he's not out. David Burnett, Channel 5 News, Carlisle.
Mixed reactions to the outspoken Joe. Just as Joe had an opinion on everything, Channel 5's John Henrahan reports everyone had an opinion on Theismann.
There isn't much controversy among Washington fans that Theismann in his prime was a great player. But Joe Theismann was among the most visible and most quoted NFL players.
Number 7 had a terrific collegiate career at Notre Dame, but finished runner-up to Joe Plunkett in the Heisman Trophy balloting. Theismann was drafted by Miami, but instead opted for the Canadian Football League. After 3 years north of the border, Joe joined the Redskins in 1974.
I picked the Washington Redskins because they had two very, very old quarterbacks who were gimping and limping around, and I thought, what a great opportunity to be 10 years younger than the youngest, which was Billy Kilmer. I was 24, Bill was 34, and Sonny's age to this day is a question mark.
Theismann finally got his big break in 1978, his first full season as a starter. 1981, Theismann ranked in the top 5 among quarterbacks in the NFL. But in 1982, he established himself as the Redskins' all-time leader, completing 64% of his passes. Theismann then led the Redskins to Super Bowl 17.
I was obsessed with winning a Super Bowl. It had gone beyond the point of a goal for me. It had become an obsession in my life. Let's go. Goal line, goal line. I left tight wing, 70 chip on white. Ready? That's something nobody can take away, that I was a part of a championship team.
The Redskins won Super Bowl 17, 27-17. The next year, Theismann again led the Redskins to the Super Bowl, but it was a different story. The Raiders whipped the Skins 38-9. In 1984, the Skins bowed out of the playoffs quickly, and then last year, with the Skins late in the season, meeting the New York Giants before a national TV audience, the shock felt round the world would be the end of Joe Theismann's career.
I mean, I hate seeing stuff like that, you know, God's a great competitor, and nobody, you know, you want to win, you want to do what you want to do, you know, you want to hit them hard, make them feel it, but you never want to injure a guy for, you know, a career or break a bone, because that's not what the sport's all about.
I don't know what I'll be like when, you know, when it ends. But I know one thing, very few people will have been able to enjoy it like I have. When it's over, it may be over, but when they look back, they'll go, boy, that sucker had a hell of a time.